Welcome back. Now, as we said, we do have confirmation that an agreement has been reached to avoid a government shutdown. I'm joined now live with Congressman Charles Boustany. Congressman, can you hear me?
I sure can, Alyssa. I've got wonderful news. We've come to an agreement here in Washington, really in the nick of time, so that we can avoid a government shutdown. And I think this is tremendous news. I'm glad that we were able to get to this point, and especially for the sake of our troops who are out in the field, who I was really, really concerned about, our troops and their families. So, great news.
Sir, could you just tell us kind of some rough details, what you know so far?
Okay, what we know so far is that the agreement involves $39 billion in cuts in discretionary spending. That's the spending that Congress votes on each year. We've got an agreement on the District of Columbia abortions, which will be prohibited, which is good. We're all pro-life, and we want to make sure that we keep that in place. There are a number of other issues that were in this, and those details are still coming to light. Some of the provisions will basically give us an agreement that the Senate will vote on the repeal of Obamacare and the funding for Planned Parenthood, which we couldn't get votes in the Senate on these things before. So while not perfect, we are going to have a deal here that will avoid shutting down the government so that families who depend on Social Security or have Medicare issues, those will be taken care of. But most importantly, we're taking care of our troops, who we were getting reports today that their pay was going to be cut and their families were going to be placed in hardship conditions while they're serving overseas, and this was just completely unacceptable.
Now, Congressman, I understand that this is a short-term stopgap resolution. What's the next step to coming to a more long-term agreement?
No, what's going to happen is tonight we're going to do a procedural vote and move forward with a short-term provision that'll get us into Wednesday so that we have time to draw up the bill for the rest of the year to post it and have it out for display for everybody to read it. So a short-term vote tonight to keep the government running for about 5 days, and then we'll I anticipate about midweek we will have the vote to finish up the spending for 2011. That's the $39 billion cuts that will go into place, but it keeps government running for the rest of the fiscal year. And now we'll be free to take up the 2012 budget, which was the business at hand. So what we needed to do was finish this current fiscal year, which was left undone by the previous Congress under Nancy Pelosi, and that was the big problem.
Okay, sir, anything that you would like to add about coming to this deal?
Well, it's been tough, and the negotiations were very, very difficult. But I think this is going to have wide support in Congress. I think it's good that we were able to avoid a shutdown of government services, which was going to be very, very detrimental. This was dangerous at a time when we have national security threats, and it was also going to be economically dangerous for our country, and if we were to shut down, because it was going to actually make our debt situation worse. So this is wonderful news that we can move forward while at the same time taking fiscally responsible cuts, spending, which is what we need to do to get our debt under control. So I'm pleased with this, and later on tonight, just before midnight, we will go into session and pass the short-term provisions so that we can pass the spending bill for the rest of the year early part of this week.
Okay, Representative Charles Boustany joining us exclusively tonight. Thank you. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Thank you.